They say, how are you so funny? Because when you make about what your stepmom did to you as a kid, and then you go to your mom's house to see your little sister, she kicks you out because because your stepmom feels a way about what you said. Personally, I don't give a because if you didn't want me to say what you did to me, it should have never happened, period. And like I said in the caption, I still haven't spoke on like the worst because personally I'm just not ready to. But now I think that amped me up to be ready to. I really do. Like now I think I want to roll all out since y'all want to watch my page, and since y'all want to start problems, since y'all want to make me seem like I'm the problem, I'm gonna give y'all a problem for real. Watch when I get home, promise. Because I ain't even get on here and talk about how she purposely got me kicked out of a school by giving my messages to the school, making it seem like I was threatening somebody. I didn't talk about how when I went to go live with my dad in Atlanta when I was younger and I liked it out there, they wanted me to come back so bad, but I didn't want to come back. So she lied and told the police that he kidnapped me. I ain't talk about that. Y'all don't want me to. Stop playing with me.
Today, I want to share the story of a young woman who bravely came forward to speak about the years of emotional and psychological abuse she suffered at the hands of her stepmother, her mother's wife. From a very young age, she was subjected to cruel and degrading treatment that no child should ever endure. One of the most disturbing incidents she recounts involved being forced to wear her soiled underwear on her face, an act of humiliation that left deep emotional scars. Her stepmother also manipulated situations to keep her from living with her biological father in Atlanta, telling lies that kept her trapped in a hostile and unloving environment. Eventually, she was forced to return to the home she shared with her mother and stepmother, where the abuse only escalated. Her stepmother didn't act alone. She fostered a toxic atmosphere, encouraging her own children to bully, isolate, and taunt the girl, compounding her pain and sense of worthlessness. As the years wore on, the weight of the trauma became unbearable. She reached a breaking point, a moment when silence was no longer an option. With incredible courage, she finally spoke out, determined to shed light on the darkness she endured for so long.
Hello, y'all. If you're new here, my name is Leela. Today, we're going to be going over the things that my stepmom did to abuse me as a child, since she's so bothered about me speaking about it on my page. Let's make a list and go down it. First and foremost, when I was younger, I did have a problem with going to the bathroom, so I oftentimes went on myself. Piss and poop, it was what it was. She would purposely have her children call me pissy. She herself would call me pissy. She would make fun of me for that. That's nothing. That's fine. Where it gets bad is she treated me like an animal. She would take the pissy panties, or sometimes if I shit myself, she would take the shitty panties and she would make me sit like for a good hour, maybe longer, like with the panties on my face as if I was a dog. Like, you know how when dogs shit on the floor and they like people put their heads in it like, hey, don't shit there? I would have to sit there with the panties on my face. Shitty, pissy, whatever the fuck it was. And she would sit there and call me pissy and dirty and all types of shit on my face. That's not where it ends. I guess putting it on my face wasn't enough. So one time in particular, she actually made me take my panties, the dirty panties. It was a lot going on in there. I'm not even gonna hold y'all, but I was a child. I'm not gonna explain why I was doing what I was doing. She made me walk up and down the block, knocking on each door of the people who lived on the block, and I had to say, "Hi, my name is Leela. I think I might have been like 8. I'm 8 years old, and these are what my panties look like." Mind y'all, it's late as fuck at night. I'm waking people up out they sleep because she would make me stand there and knock until somebody maybe came and answered the door. Um, I already told y'all about the winter clothes, but we can run that back too. Summer clothes, when we would get summer clothes, we would either get new clothes or we would get bins from last summer. This specific summer, we got new clothes. All the freaking shorts were like down here or up here. I was happy with what I had. However, being a young girl, seeing all the other girls in the cute sets with like the skirts or the shorts that are like here, I asked, can y'all give me some shorts that are about that length? She called me the most ungrateful whatever the fuck in the world, and she wrote on a big poster board, my name is Leela and I'm ungrateful for what I got for summer, so this is what I have to wear. She made me walk up and down the block in a turtleneck. I had on a jacket on top of my turtleneck. I had on a vest on top of the jacket on top of the turtleneck. I might have had an undershirt on too, if I'm not mistaken. I had on polo boots. I had on probably like 2 pairs of socks. She had me dressed like it was a winter storm in a summer heat, walking up and down the block with a sign that said, I'm ungrateful for my summer clothes, so this is what I have to wear. It didn't stop there, though. After I had to do that, she also sent me to summer camp. I went to the Boys and Girls Club, Nicetown, Shane Victorino. We pulling names out because I don't care no more. I went to the Boys and Girls Club. I had to sit at the front of the Boys and Girls Club. I wasn't allowed to play in any I wasn't allowed to do shit at the Boys and Girls Club. I wasn't allowed to be a part of summer camp. I had to sit up front and just sit there in embarrassment as the parents came and dropped off their kids, as the parents came and picked up their kids. I had to sit front and center. So anytime somebody walked in the building, they seen me sitting there in my winter clothes. Everybody looking at me like, what the fuck is going on? I actually ended up throwing the fuck up because I was so hot. They was telling them, don't let me get up too many times to get water and shit. Yeah, let's get into all that. Next, when I was about 7, I was such a problem that they couldn't handle me that they decided to send me to my dad. My dad lived in Atlanta. I was with my dad in Atlanta for at least a year. Best year of my life. I love living with my dad. I don't give a fuck. Okay? They sent my sister down to Atlanta to be some type of spy. And my punishment for my dad, which wasn't putting my face in shitty panties, whenever I would get in trouble, he would make me sleep in a room that was in a basement because my room, it's all dolled up, it's decorated, it's all fun and cutesy. Okay, if I'm in trouble, I gotta go in the room with nothing in it. It wasn't like a dungeon basement, or the basement was done. It was a bed down there and everything. Sometimes if I draw it, I would have to go in the one room where it was like the little mattress. Either way, that was better than what the fuck they was doing to me down here. They didn't like that so bad that they decided to tell the police that he kidnapped me. And I ended up having to come back here. And after coming back here and not wanting to be here, and I'm voicing like, hey, I don't want to be here. I want to go back with my dad. I want to go back with my dad. You know what they started telling me? That my dad was in jail. You know where my dad never was? In jail. Another thing that I can remember is, I'm not sure which birthday it was, but one of my birthdays, on the day of my birthday, it was a school day. Something happened at school. It wasn't that deep. I don't remember it being that deep, but I remember me having to stay in my room about it. My mom was a nurse who worked nights. When my mom went to work that night, my stepmom came in my room, beat the fuck out of me, said happy birthday, and was like, and your mom already knows, so you don't gotta say nothing to her, and then went back in her room. And I didn't realize until I was older that this was a manipulation tactic to make me think that my mom was a part of all the shit. I didn't realize until I was older, but I realize now, so let's talk about it. When we first moved back to Philly, I went to my grandma's house. My grandma, mind you, I'm 4. My grandma had got me like this little blow-up princess chair. It was my favorite chair. I will always sit in my little blow-up princess. I'm about to cry thinking about this shit because I'm still mad about how they gaslighted me to this day. But her daughters took a rat tail comb and popped my fucking chair. And I told them, oh, they popped my chair, and they basically gaslighted me like, oh, no, they didn't, no, they didn't, no, they didn't. And I might have got in trouble for how I reacted or something. I don't remember. But all I know is years later is, oh, we definitely popped that chair. Ha ha ha. Ain't shit funny. Nothing's funny. I got in trouble for that. The birthday parties with no interactions. I'm not going to say I was a holy child. I'm not going to say that at all. But I feel like the punishments were extreme. All the time. Like, all the time the punishments were extreme. So, whenever, like, I would get in trouble around my birthday because now that I'm thinking about it, they never even really gave a fuck about my birthday. They just wanted to have Halloween type block parties to seem like big community, whatever the fucking case may have been. Whenever my birthday would come around, if I would get in trouble for anything at all, like I couldn't even breathe wrong, they would either, like, one birthday was at Rolling Thunder. We still had the party at Rolling Thunder. I was at Rolling Thunder. I just had to sit there and watch everybody skate. I had to sit there and watch them play the arcade games. I might have got up at the end and it got to play like a game or two. But this was almost every birthday. Like it was one birthday I remember where I actually got to participate. Another birthday I remember we had a Halloween block party. I was sitting upstairs in my room. People was coming up to use the bathroom like, oh hey Lilo, I didn't know you were here. Why? It's my birthday. What the fuck? Let's talk about how they started fostering kids and was treating them kids that they was fostering bad. Y'all are literally getting children who are coming in here from cases of sexual assault, and y'all wonder why they act the way they act. But instead of being consoling and asking them, are you okay, what's going on, is, oh, you little thought, oh, you want to be outside, oh, you want to be a slut, oh, you want to be, like, please don't team me up, because I've been keeping it cute on this internet for y'all, and we can really take it there. We can. Like, I've been told y'all, my mouth works. I just been sparing y'all. Let's not. Let's really not. Thank you. Hello mates, today we're going to be answering questions you guys had on my past video. First main question asked was like, how was she your stepmom? It was my mom's wife, not my dad's girlfriend or anything. That's what everybody thought. My mom's wife. Where's my dad? From what I know, he was in Atlanta. I went to live with him for a little bit, but then they wanted me to come back. I didn't want to come back. He didn't want me to go back because I didn't want to come back. They basically claimed like he kidnapped me and I had to go back and all this other stuff. Cool. Didn't see him again until my 10th birthday. After my 10th birthday, he was supposed to come back for my sister's birthday that year. We never saw him again. That's when they started telling us that he was in jail and stuff. Then freaking, I didn't see him again until he was miraculously out of jail when my stepmom kicked me out, like towards the end of my junior year. The neighbors didn't call the cops. From what I know, no. I never seen no cops at my door, not about me at least, you know, so no. I guess it was one of those things where it's like, you know, that's day business or something, or like, I don't know, like, how was my mom allowing this? A lot of the times that stuff happened, my mom wasn't around, and my stepmom would just tell me, like, oh yeah, your mom knows, so you don't gotta say nothing, and I would, like, believe it, and, like, I would think, like, my mom, like, knew and, like, didn't care because, like, you're saying, like, she know already, like, you don't gotta say nothing type stuff, but that's because I was younger, like, obviously I was being manipulated or whatever. But then some of the stuff my mom was there for, so it's just like question mark. But I don't know. Post what she looked like and tag her. I'm not gonna do that for safety reasons, but it's in God's hands. Hey, your dad didn't do anything. He came and got me whenever they asked him to, but for the most part, I never really, like, talked to him. Like, I couldn't get into contact with him. Like, my mom wouldn't give me his number. They also was telling me, like, he was in jail and shit. So, I thought he was in jail for a long time. And he was just real ghetto. Do I still talk to her? I actually just blocked her yesterday. That's why these videos and stuff got posted. Because I was at her house chilling. Because I went to go see my little sisters. And fucking, she get a phone call from the wife. And she asked me, like, oh, I'm going to ask you something. Don't lie. Was you posting talking about her? And I'm like, I wasn't talking about her. I was talking about what she did to me. And she's like, well, why do you keep doing stuff like that? You know how this affects me. Like, it'll get to her and then it comes back to me. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out, like, why I should care. Like, what do that mean to me? Like, you know? But she told me I had to go or whatever. And I was just like, you know what? That was my sign. Like, that's it for me. Like, and she turned my phone off and shit today and signed me out the Roku. That's cool. I'm gonna turn my shit back on tomorrow. Yeah, fucking Roku. I'm cool. Like, I got a phone. But yeah, that's my life, guys. I don't know.